Welcome to Seasons of Grace, your daily dose of inspiration. As we journey through the Great Fast, we'll be reading selections from Father Jack Custer's book, Back to the Garden, a Lenten Journey Through Genesis.
Thursday of the fourth week of the Great Fast. We read from the book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 32, through chapter 11, verse 9. These are the families of Noah, according to their peoples and nations. By these were the nations divided on the earth after the flood. And the earth was of one tongue and of the same speech. And when they removed from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and dwelt in it. And each one said to his neighbor, Come, let us make bricks, and bake them with fire. And they had bricks instead of stones, and slime instead of mortar. And they said, Come, let us make a city and a tower, the top of which may reach to heaven, and let us make our name famous before we be scattered abroad into all lands. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of Adam were building. And he said, Behold, it is one people, and all have one tongue, and they have begun to do this. Neither will they leave off from their designs till they accomplish them indeed. Come ye therefore, let us go down, and there confound their tongue, that they may not understand one another's speech. And so the Lord scattered them from that place into all lands, and they ceased to build the city. And therefore the name of this city was called Babel, because there the language of the whole earth was confounded, and from thence the Lord scattered them abroad upon the face of all countries. Cooperation is a good thing. Before the flood, many people were living for themselves, bringing heartache and murderous destruction. Men act like Cain and Lamech. They slaughter others for any affront or felt insult. After the flood, we hear of families of nations. The people in the land of Shinar decide to work together to build a great city and a tower with its top in the heavens. But whatever goals and language they shared are tested by their efforts, and they end up divided by language and separated into different nations, their land now known as Babel, giving us the word Babel. We hear of a group of people reaching for the heavens, but only by their own direction and power. They do this to make a name for themselves. St. Gregory the theologian contrasts the experience of Babel with the unity and harmony of the descent of the Holy Spirit at Pentecost. The confusion of language destroys the unity of the people of Babel, trying to build up a city solely for themselves, for their own praise. The one Spirit poured upon many at Pentecost brings humanity back into harmony. Learning cooperation to build their city at Babel, the people then learned communion of the Holy Spirit at Pentecost. But before they can pay attention to what God has to say at Pentecost, they have to be confounded enough to see that their own plans lead to death. We hear in Proverbs chapter 14, verse 1, Wisdom builds her house, but folly with her own hands tears it down. A few verses later, verse 12, the more pointed proverb, There is a way which seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death. The people at Babel are separated by language, so they will learn the foolishness of their ways. There are many ways in which we look to ourselves without even thinking about it. The world is upside down, and we feel disoriented when we try to stand right way up. The Great Fast is an excellent time to disconnect from the busyness and expectations of our lives in order to become reoriented and to connect with the sight and insight of the one who is our life. For reflection, what is one part of my life where I make decisions for myself or for others, but not looking to God? Ask God back into that part of your life.
Thank you for listening to Seasons of Grace. If you would like to send this episode to a friend or listen again, please visit godwithusradio.org. You can also find previous and future episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and almost everywhere podcasts are available. A special thank you to Eastern Christian Publications for their permission to present Back to the Garden in this format.